Welcome back to the Daughters of the Moon podcast. We're grateful that you can join us for another week.
We certainly are.
And we are welcoming back Scarlet Strapko. She joined us on March 19th, episode 116, talk about emotions and stress with essential oils. And this time she's going to talk with us about supporting restorative sleep, muscles, and bones and immune systems with essential oils. So welcome back, Scarlet. We're excited
Thank
to
you
have you
for having
back
me
with us.
again. I'm so excited to be on again with you ladies.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Well, and I think it'll be really interesting to hear about all the different kind of oils that can help with these things, because I know a lot of people struggle with sleep and aches and pains in their immune systems. And I've noticed where we are anywhere is like at work, it seems like everybody's getting sick these days. Like, and it's cyclical, like it's not going away. They just like get it gone and then get it back. So I'll be interested to hear some of the different oils that you can use to help with that. So
Very good. And I'm interested to hear what you've been using already, because I know you both love using essential oils. So kind of like to find out, what are you doing, for your health, and then expanding on that for listener.
Are you using any, Mom?
Yeah, when I do my Reiki especially, I use essential oils and put them in the room so that it calms the person that's on my table. And also spearmint and that type of thing for headaches, and also for bringing the vitality back into a person if they're on my table and they need to wake up. Would be a good thing.
Yeah. No, that's great, because essential oils really are like soothing or stimulating, depending on what kind of oils you use and also on how you use them. So
Exactly.
it's amazing how you can support the body and the mind with the essential oils.
Yeah, you bet. Kimmy's made some really nice oils for me in the past too. Some things she's put together. She's the girl that does most of the oil things. So I'll let you have it, Kim.
Yeah, I've been using peppermint for my headaches, and I also find that I was having some neck aches and stuff like that. So I was putting it on my eye pillow and then warming that up in the microwave, and then I put lavender and I put some peppermint on it and then put it on my neck, and that seemed to help.
Exactly.
And I've been using a lot of the Digestin, because I've been having some heartburn, and that's my go-to when that happens. But I've actually been fairly healthy, but I do take a lot of vitamins and stuff like to keep my immune system boosted up, because I don't want to get sick.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah, no, especially with the immune system, there's so many things that factor into an immune system, even our sleep. If we don't get enough sleep or not enough restorative sleep, it actually lowers our immune response. And so maybe we'll start talking about sleep, which oils you can use to support sleep. Lavender is like one of the go-tos, everybody kind of like knows about, to use lavender to calm down at night, to use it for sleep. What you would do with a calming essential oil, you can put it on the inside of your wrists and rub your wrists together like a drop. Put it inside the palm of your hands, rub your hands together, and then just cup the hands in front of your face about 6 inches and close your eyes and just breathe in the aroma of the essential oil. Best for sleep is having a diffuser that runs all night. So you keep breathing it in while you're sleeping. The soothing essential oils that help you get a more restful sleep. And also your whole bedtime routine is really important. It actually starts like about an hour before you go to bed. So like not to have like bright light sources anymore. Make sure like on your phone, if you're still on your phone an hour before bedtime, you have like that blue setting on, that it filters out like the blue light, so it doesn't stimulate your brain and, upset your balance in your brain for when your body gets ready to sleep. And just also doing some things that maybe help you. Like sometimes when we go to bed, we lay in bed and we're thinking, like we're thinking about the next day, we're planning something, stuff is still going on in our brain. And sometimes when we use the hour before we go to bed to maybe write some things down, we can get it kind of like out of our head onto a piece of paper, into a journal, or onto a spreadsheet on the computer, however you like to keep notes. and unload some of these things. And so it's just really like the routine that we develop even an hour before going to bed is really important. Maybe doing a foot soak, or, you know, reading, or doing a meditation or a breathing exercise, so that when you're going to bed, you're already in a little bit more of a restful state. So besides lavender that everybody knows, there are actually some other really cool oils that we can use to support sleep. So another one, I'm sorry, a lot of people like is Roman chamomile. So Roman chamomile is very soothing for our nervous system. Cedarwood is another really good, soothing, calming essential oil we can use in the evening. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. You know, valerian is a really good oil. So valerian root is just really soothing and calming. And then there's an oil called spikenard. It's actually from the valerian family. And that helps some people very, very well with sleep. You know, like all our body chemistries are different. You know, for you, maybe lavender works well. Maybe for my husband or your husband, spikenard would work better. And sometimes guys tend more towards the more earthy scents and not so much the flowery lavender, you know what I mean? So it really depends on the person, and really trying to figure out a little bit which oils or which combination of oils works well. And then there's one oil I think everybody kind of like needs to have, because it's called vetiver. So vetiver is distilled from the roots of the vetiver grass. So it has a very deep, earthy, rich scent. And what it does, it helps the brain to calm down, to calm that chatter down that we sometimes have when we're laying there and we keep thinking, and we just can't switch off. The vetiver really helps us to switch off.
Wow.
And so adding that vetiver under the sole of your foot, and adding it in addition, like to your wrists, adding a drop or two to your diffuser, can make a huge, huge difference just in bringing down that chitter chatter that sometimes goes on in our brain when we're trying to go to sleep.
Yeah,
That's good to know. That's good
that
to
is
know,
good to
because
know.
Yeah.
my
So,
mind never stops.
and
Seems
if
like
you
it.
have and if you have nightmares, if you have, like, you know, some people have very restless sleep or have trouble with nightmares, juniper berry is a really, really good oil for calming nightmares.
Oh,
So add that to your blend, add it to your wrists, add it to your diffuser. And one of the most important things with sleep is knowing it will take 21 days until your body will adjust to a new sleep rhythm, a new sleep cycle. So if you're trying anything new, just make sure you're staying consistent, like every single night, you're trying the same regimen and you're going for it, and you're just committing like 3 weeks to it, to really see until your body will start switching, and your sleep is just really going to get so much more restful. You will wake up in the mornings not feeling lethargic, but you're feeling like energized, and you're just like
Nighty
ready,
night.
you know, to start your day.
yes, that would be nice. I've actually been having not too bad of sleeps, but I've had a few nights where but it's because I've been, on my phone or something like that later into the night, and, had a glass of wine, those kind of things. And that seems to really disrupt my thing when I just kind of have a calming night and, I'm drinking my sparkling water, and then I, kind of get into bed. I do some deep breathing, and then that just really helps me kind of wind down. And so,
Exactly. It's your routine, you know, that really can help you there. And as you just mentioned, like the wine, you know, depending on what we're eating or drinking, it really affects too how we're sleeping or how we're able to fall asleep. So eating very close to going to bed is not a good thing either. You know, when your stomach is very full and it's still digesting, and, you know, you have a very restless sleep. So your eating habits around sleep are very, very important. I actually wrote several articles on sleep that are all on my website, even one on food, you know, which foods are good, and the whole like evening routine that you can develop, you know, to help you have a better sleep. Like, because I feel sleep is just such an important part of our life.
It sure
And
is.
sometimes we don't give it enough credit in a way, you know, we're just like, oh, you know, we're kind of like wasting time away, just sleeping, you know, but our body really needs that sleep. And honestly, if we sleep less than 7 hours a day, it will affect us emotionally and physically. So if we consistently have 7 hours or less of sleep a day, we have a 70% greater chance as we're aging to develop a mood disorder.
Wow.
So, because when we're sleeping, our body goes through these regenerative functions. You know, we consolidate our memory, we process our stress. And if the body doesn't have enough time to do that, it has effects. It has effects on your health. You know, people become irritable, you know what I mean? Like you have mood swings, and it can often be related back to the lack of sleep. So also some physical issues, you know, like cardiovascular disease, you know, increases, the risk for that increases if we don't have enough sleep,
Yeah,
if we
that
don't have
makes
the
sense.
quality of sleep that we need. It can even add to developing like diabetes.
yeah,
That if we don't have enough sleep. So there are physical repercussions for us, honestly, if we don't take care of ourselves and take the time and have the tools or develop the tools that help us to really get that restful sleep that our body needs to go through all these regenerative functions for all of our organs while we're sleeping.
yeah, absolutely. Well, and they say that too, because they say that like if you wake up at different times too during the night, you can relate that back to the different organs in your body. So that in itself is just proof that the sleep helps you regenerate those organs and your functioning in your body.
Exactly.
And you know,
Exactly.
how many times have we not had enough sleep? And then you're right, you walk around the next day and you're irritable and you're, you know,
Yeah.
in a fog and you can't
Yeah.
think and yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think
By Chinese medicine, if you're waking up between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., it's your liver time. So when we have a lot of stress during the day, our glycogen sources in the body are getting used up by the stress process. And when we're sleeping between 1 and 3 at night, our liver goes through its restorative function. And
Right.
for that restorative function, it uses glycogen. So if we've used up a lot of the glycogen during the day, it will kind of like run out of the storage of that glycogen. So your body will jump into producing adrenaline as an energy source. And that adrenaline kicks in and we're waking up.
yeah.
And so that's the whole process that's behind that. So if you can keep your essential oils like right next to your bed, like on your bedside table, so you don't even have to get up to like reapply them, you know, to put a drop back into your hand if you're waking up in the middle of the night, and you can just lay there with your eyes closed and just breathe it in again, reapply it to your pulse points. Another nice, what you said before with like putting like your neck pillow behind your neck, you know, when you have tension, that's really a nice place too to put the oils before you're going to bed. You know, like put some into your hand and just like rub your neck right here and into your traps, because that's where we carry a lot of stress from the day.
Do we
And that's
ever?
where it's
Do we
really
ever?
nice to feel relaxation.
I have a question. So for somebody that doesn't sleep too much, okay, and I'm talking and about my son here, Kimmy's brother. He drives a truck, so his sleeping habits are really not very good. Is there something that he could use that would give him help him to restore the energy he needs if he's not getting that sleep, if he can't get into a regular sleep pattern sort of thing? Is there something that would be good
You
for him to
mean to
try?
help him with energy levels during the day while he's in his awake phase and he's working?
A little bit of that, yes. A little
Yeah.
bit of that, and also the sleep part.
Yeah, so for the sleep part, the same thing, you know, even if he's getting like just a little bit of sleep, the more deep, the more restorative that portion of sleep can be, the better for him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So if he can use certain essential oils, and there are even, at least from the company that I use my oils from, they even have something you can take internally. And a lot of guys like that because you can just swallow it. So it's a soft gel that contains lavender. It has tart cherry, which is a natural melatonin. and it
Okay.
has L-theanine in it. L-theanine is an amino acid that's usually in like green tea and black tea and some mushrooms, which is very relaxing and soothing for the body. So those 3 components are in this little soft gel, and you can take 1 to 2 before you go to sleep. And so the more restorative he can make that little bit of sleep that he has, the better.
Okay. Good.
And then during the day, if he feels fatigued, what I've found is honestly a good peppermint oil, like the doTERRA peppermint oil, really energizes. Like rubbing it in your hands, breathing it in, cupping your hands in front of your face. Like when I go on long car rides, I diffuse sometimes peppermint. So you can buy car diffusers that you can plug, directly into your USB port in the car. Just add 1 drop. Peppermint is very strong. It's a very small room, usually, inside of the car. And the peppermint will really wake up the senses.
Yeah.
And
any citrus to
yeah, and the
energize.
citrus, and it's citrus to it, like a wild orange or a lemon or a lime is really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Good.
And so which one is that for the sleeping? Because I think we
So
both
it's
use
called
doTERRA, right?
Serenity. It's called Serenity Soft Gels.
Okay.
And those have the lavender, tart cherry, and L-theanine.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you
Thank you.
use doTERRA,
Yeah,
correct?
I use
Yeah,
doTERRA.
that's what I have as well, which I absolutely love. But
Yeah. So
yeah,
you haven't tried the soft gels before, I guess, then.
I have not, no. But I don't have a lot of problems sleeping. I think because I generally kind of wind myself down, and it's really, if I don't sleep, it's because I'm either super stressed or got a lot on my mind. But now I have some ideas of when that's happening that I can use, right?
Yeah.
Me too now.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Very good, very good. Yeah, so like you said, if you only have a certain amount of time that you can sleep, just make sure you're making that the best, more restorative sleep that you can get.
Right.
Perfect.
Mhm.
I'll make sure I share that with them because he really does need to get a sleep too. And sometimes he has a hard time falling asleep once he's put in a long day. So I'll tell him that.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, especially I have some people too, that sleep with CPAP machines. So if you have a CPAP, you can't really breathe in the oil from the diffuser. And you should never add essential oils to a CPAP machine because the interior mechanisms, they're usually not made to handle essential oils. You don't want it to corrode or disintegrate anything. So using like the soft gels that you can take internally, is another alternative. And then applying the essential oils to your body, to your neck and traps, to the inside of your wrists, under the soles of your feet, if you can't diffuse.
Yeah. Okay. Super. That's good to know. That's all good information, all of it, and especially for him.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, and you'll see, if you get better sleep, then maybe your immune system also gets a little bit better. But other things that we can do for our immune system in terms of essential oils, there's a blend called On Guard. So On Guard is a blend of like 5 different essential oils. It has wild orange, clove, cinnamon, rosemary, and eucalyptus essential oil. And those were actually oils that were used during the time of the plague. So historically, it's recorded that people that use these oils had much greater chance of surviving, of staying healthy, of cleansing their clothing in with the oils, washing their hands, and so we can use this blend as well to help us preventative, hopefully, of maybe not catching something, or if we're catching something, not getting maybe as sick, to support our immune system the best we can, naturally. So my mom, for instance, she's 88, and she puts a drop of On Guard under the soles of her feet every morning before she gets when she gets up, and at night before she goes to bed, and she swears by it. You know what I mean? Like she loves doing it. She's been, knock on wood, doing really, really well. And so there's a lot we can do, with essential oils in terms of supporting the immune system. Also turmeric essential oil is a really good essential oil to support the immune system. Clove essential oil by itself, I know the clove is part of the On Guard blend, but if you take just 1 drop of clove essential oil, it has the same antioxidant value, the ORAC value, as eating 2 quarts of blueberries or 2 pounds of carrots or drinking
Wow.
2 cups of beet juice.
Wow.
So we know these vegetables or fruits for like having, you know, the antioxidants that we need, you know, especially if we're feeling run down, we feel like maybe we're getting sick or we're coming down with something.
Yeah.
So boosting that antioxidant response is really great. As a clove is really, really great for that. So that's why I always like highlighting the clove essential oil. You just have to be really careful. If you're using it topically, it's a very hot oil. It's hot to the skin, which means it could turn your skin like red if you're putting it straight onto your skin. So if you're applying it topically, like even under the sole of your foot, just make sure you dilute it with the fractionated coconut oil. Some people take it internally. The doTERRA one can be taken internally, like in an empty veggie cup, along with some oil, like a carrier oil, like olive oil, or you know, whatever oil you're cooking with. You can add that and 1 drop of clove and take it internally. But I know only the doTERRA. So there's a lot of essential oils out there you cannot take internally. So always make sure you read the label on the bottle if it's labeled as a supplement, as an internal supplement, you know, so you can take it internally or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's really good to say that, because lots of people don't know that, I
Yeah,
find, and
yeah.
it's really important that they don't take something that shouldn't be taken by mouth,
Exactly,
right?
potentially harmful. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
2 other oils that are really good to support our immune system are oregano, oil of oregano, tea tree essential oil. So those are kind of like the main ones that I usually think of when I'm thinking of, you know, how can I support my immune system? And I actually wrote an ebook, a free ebook. It's on my website too, a free ebook on immune system support. So it has like 21 different tips of what we can do to support our immune system in different ways.
Beautiful.
And I just feel it's important the time that we live in, you know what I mean? And just preventative, you know, just trying to make sure we're not catching some of the things that are
Out
going
there.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the oil of oregano when I'm not feeling well. That is one of my definite go-tos.
Yeah.
The rest of the family, not so much. They don't really care for it that much because it is hot. I
It
usually
is hot.
put it
It's
in
really
a
hot.
little, I usually put it in a bit of water and then just chug it down.
You drink it.
But yeah, it just, I find if you, especially if you do it right, kind of when you're starting to feel not well,
Yeah.
it kind of kicks it in the butt. Plus, they have a toothpaste that I love, the On Guard toothpaste. So
Yeah.
I find that, you know, that's just helping you every day. And then with the cleaner that they have as well, I
Oh, yeah.
use that to clean my floors and stuff because I'm not a big chemical person. So
Yeah, same here. Same here. The On Guard concentrated cleaner. Yeah, no, it's
yeah,
great because you
yeah,
can just mix it for cleaning the kitchen, the bathroom, the floor, you know, whatever you're cleaning.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, you know, you're doing something good and, you know, not bombarding your system with so many chemicals, you know, breathing them in, getting them onto your hands or onto your body while you're cleaning,
Yeah.
which is really not healthy.
No. And I think any little steps we can take, right? Because sometimes you can't totally be away from that kind of stuff, but I think any little moves that we can make to try to use some of these essential oils or use something different than these chemical stuff is a good thing
I
in
think
my
so.
opinion anyways.
Yeah, because it reduces the toxic load of your body. You know what I mean? And I think as much as we can keep our body healthy through reducing that toxic load, you know, the better for us, the better for how we're feeling and so our body can fight what it has to fight. You know what I mean? So we're not bombarding it with things, you know, and it's working on all these things that it maybe shouldn't have to. So it can keep those resources for the important stuff.
Well, and
So
too, if you're keeping your immune up, you're gonna sleep better. Like it all
yeah.
correlates to each other, right? So I think that that's really important for people to understand as well as, you know, while you're taking care of this one thing, it's also going to help you in other areas of your life. So
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Our immune system, you know, resides in our gut. And so also, like you said before, you know, if we can support our gut health, you know, it helps our immune system. So if we can take a really good probiotic or a supplement that restores our microbiome, that is really, really important.
Mhm.
Talking about the microbiome, just because I'm thinking of it, a lot of people use hand sanitizers, especially since COVID hit. A lot of these hand sanitizers have alcohol in it. If you're using a lot of the hand sanitizers with the alcohol, you're actually destroying the microbiome on your hands. The
Mhm.
microbiome acts like an invisible shield for our body. So if we're destroying this, we're actually allowing more germs or things that we get in contact with to actually enter our body. So if we can, just washing our hands with soap and water, and there's also an On Guard hand soap that I always have
Oh.
in my bathroom. So if you're just washing your hands, with soap and water, you're not destroying the microbiome. And so you're actually keeping your immune defense up better.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
if
nice.
you're supporting your gut, your microbiome in the gut with a supplement, then you're supporting your immune defense. So it's all so connected, you know what I mean? Our sleep, our immune system, our gut, it's like everything.
Oh, it really is. And they say like your gut is like your second brain, right? So it's so connected. And so if you don't have a good gut biome,
Yeah.
then that's why you get sick, and that's why you get all these different diseases and things like that, because that's where you need to start, and then you kind of move from there, I think. And
Right.
yeah, and I agree with the hand sanitizer, because I thought that when the pandemic was on and you're out and everybody's using like they're pouring it on like the gallon,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't feel like you're doing yourself any justice there.
Yeah, your instincts were totally right there. If
I'm
we
like,
have
I'm gonna
to,
pass when I can.
yeah, if we have to, if we just touched something and it's like really, you know what I mean? I just, but in general, try and use soap and water, wash your hands for 30 seconds in between the fingers, just really well, and just get a good habit that way, and not just hand sanitizers all the time.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah. And then we were talking about aches and pains, right? You
Yes.
mentioned
Right.
with your headaches in the beginning. So essential oils are really good to release tension. For when you have tension in your head and neck, using peppermint essential oil is really, really good. Peppermint, especially in combination with lavender, is really nice. The peppermint is a vasoconstrictor, which means more oxygen will flow faster to the brain. And that can often help release some of that pressure that we're feeling or tension that we're feeling in our head. Applying it to the temples right here. We have just to be always mindful when we put essential oils onto our skin, it's almost like they wander. It kind of like spreads out. Okay. So when you're putting them on your temples or on your forehead, just make sure you're far enough away from your eyes. You do not want like peppermint essential oil to wander into like the corners of your eye and,
No.
irritate your eye.
You
If
don't, because it hurts.
it hurts. And if that would ever happen, do not use water. Do not use water to wash out your eye. It will sting even more. You should use another oil. If you have olive oil handy or any oil in the kitchen, put that on a little cloth. Wipe that oil with the cloth, wipe your eye. Don't use water on it, or use milk.
No.
Okay.
So because the essential oil will combine with the other oil, or it will combine with milk, but it will not combine with water, and it will just aggravate it even more.
Yeah, I have done that,
makes
like
sense.
rub the
That makes
peppermint
sense.
here. And then
Mhm.
sometimes if you put too much, because I do that too, then yeah, all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I can barely see because of the peppermint smell, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I did know about the oil, but I did not know that about the milk. So interesting.
So it
That is
it
interesting.
binds
Makes
it.
sense.
Yeah, it binds it and helps it come out, reduces it, let's say this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. One of the things that I like to use for aches and pains, and it's my favorite, and I actually need to order some more, is the deep blue.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Swear by that stuff, and I have turned so many people onto it just because,
Yeah.
right, when you're sore and you're kind of achy, especially if it's muscle aches and stuff like that, that stuff just
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It is
Even
beautiful.
putting it on before you work out and then after you work out, you're going to see such a big difference in how your joints and your muscles, you know, how they will feel. When people have sometimes muscle cramping, you know, after like a lot of a workout, or some people when they're laying in bed or they're resting and they're feeling like, oh, my calves are starting, you know what I mean? Like I'm a little bit cramping up. Marjoram is a really, really nice oil for that. So use always a carrier oil, because, you know, like when we're talking about like aches and pains and muscles and joints, it's a larger area. So it's good to put like a little bit of fractionated coconut oil into your hand, and then add 1 or 2 drops of an essential oil, and then rub that together and then massage that in lightly. It will also actually let your body absorb more of the essential oil, because essential oils are very volatile. Volatile means as soon as they come into contact with air, a lot of it flashes off into the air. So you're losing some of that essential oil. When you put fractionated coconut oil or another carrier oil into your palm first, and then you drop 1 drop of essential oil into that, it kind of like gets encapsulated right away into that other oil. So more of it will actually get absorbed into your skin, and you have less of the flashing off. So it's more soothing for the skin. It's easier to apply to larger areas when we're like diluting it with fractionated coconut oil. And yeah, our body just gets more of what you want to use.
Yeah, and
So-
I know that I have, oh, sorry, Mom. Go ahead.
No.
Ask your question, because mine was just a comment.
Okay, so if you're using, let's say, the stuff for your pains and things like that, what I find is it's a little strong for some people. So can you put some oils with that too, to help to, you know, massage the skin and that? Because I love that deep blue. It's beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
But I know it bothers my partner with his breathing. So
Yeah.
so I'm wondering if I could put something with that and it would still do the same thing for him as far as his aches and pains. It would still take that
Yeah.
away if I put something with it.
Yeah. So what you can try is wintergreen. So wintergreen is the natural form of aspirin. So that
Okay.
is good for like when you're feeling achy, you know, to add as an essential oil. Frankincense is always good. You
Okay.
know, lavender, marjoram will be very relaxing. So if it is to relax his muscles and his neck, and, you know, where he keeps his tension, maybe
Right.
adding marjoram to it. Roman chamomile is really good for it. People usually don't have available like blue tansy or blue chamomile, but those would be other oils too that are very calming and soothing, and are good to massage in.
And they take away pain and in your joints
Yeah,
and that
it's
kind of
just,
thing.
yeah,
Okay.
soothe, you know, soothe our achiness that we might carry, you know, somewhere in the body.
Okay.
If it is
Good to know.
ligament related, so let's say you were like running and you twisted your ankle, you know, and your ligaments just got stretched in your ankle, and you want to support that that healing process,
Right.
then lemongrass is a
Oh.
wonderful, wonderful essential oil to help and support ligaments.
Oh. Okay. There's some
So
homework for you, Kim.
I probably have most of those that she just said.
good,
I can
good.
make you up something.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
That was going to be my next question to you.
Yeah. And sometimes when we're talking about, you know, like recovering from something physical, a circulation, blood flow to that area really helps. And an oil that really helps with increasing circulation is cypress. So if
Oh,
you're blending something together and you want to increase that blood flow to that area, add a drop or 2 of cypress to it.
Okay.
So sometimes, you know, like when people like massage like the ankles or feet, let's say your ankles and feet are very tired at the end of the day, you're feeling like, you know, you're having like thicker ankles, and you just want to do something for your feet and for your calves, you know, putting together a cypress, maybe with some marjoram, maybe with something soothing like frankincense or a lavender, and
oh,
just
nice.
massaging your ankles and massaging upwards, you know, through your calf, can just feel wonderful and really help
Okay.
that area.
Yeah,
Good to know.
I'll make you something.
Thank you. Thank you.
My
She's so
favorite, it's
wonderful.
my favorite thing to do. Well, I love it because I know that it works. And so then, right, why wouldn't you share that with people? And I have a drawer full, so It's good
Very
to
good,
put it to
very good.
use, right? And
Yeah.
but yeah, going back to what you had said about the like putting the fractionated coconut oil with it. So I had like a wisdom spot.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an age spot, but yeah. So anyways, I had done some research and frankincense helps take them away, but I was using it too strong and not diluted enough. And then it actually kind of burnt my skin a little bit. So yeah, so that was a good lesson to me. So,
Yeah.
you know, I just wanted to share that story with everybody because, you know, there's a true life story of what happens when you don't do it properly.
Yeah. No, seriously, like a lot of people don't understand because, you know, we see these little bottles of essential oil and then one drop, oh, how much can that be? And then people sometimes take 2 or 3 or 5 drops, you know, of something. But we have to keep in mind that at least these pure essential oils like doTERRA has, they're 50 to 70 times the strength of their herbal counterparts.
Wow.
50 to 70 times the strength. So use it sparingly, use 1 drop, you know what I mean, dilute it, and use it more consistently. Use it maybe 2 or 3 times a day. You know, let's say you have an achy shoulder or something, you know, use 1 drop, dilute it, do it 3 times a day instead of trying to use like 5 drops 1 time a day. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just doesn't make no sense that way.
Yeah.
So the consistency is good, diluting it is good. Use a little goes a long way with essential oils. And just, yeah, create habits, like routines and habits around your lifestyle, you know, how you do certain things, and start small. Just pick one thing. You know what I mean? If you're walking away from this podcast, and I know we talked about so many different things, but if one thing caught your attention, you know, whether it was the lemongrass for your ligaments, or it was something for the tension in the back of your neck with the peppermint, or something for your sleep like the vetiver because your brain keeps going at night, pick one thing and just try and do it every single day and just develop that consistency. And then from there, move into, you know, using for something else in your life to support and grow it over time.
Yeah. And what I noticed with the lists that you gave us when you were giving the different things, there was a lot of things that, like, say, peppermint. Peppermint is good for so many different things. So, you know, if you heard something that was repeated a couple of times, you know, start out small with a couple of those ones, like the peppermint and the frankincense, lavender, you know, start out small with those and then grow from there, right? So,
Yes, grow from there.
yeah.
Because what I've always noticed is when I work with people that are completely new to essential oils and they're like, oh, I want to address this, 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 and this. They have like 5 things on their list. And they want to start on everything at once. And it never goes well because they feel so overwhelmed and it's so many different things to remember. And so it's always good to start with one thing, let it become a habit, and then you're ready to tackle the next.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
right.
Do it gradually and you'll have the best experience, really.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
exactly. Well, that is like a lot of information for people to soak in, which is great though, because I think we need that. We need that option besides running to the drugstore and getting, you know, the Neocin
No.
and the Tylenol. And I mean, because I mean, it's proven that they're so bad for your organs, that stuff. And so if we can find something to avoid them and we start small, I think that's just a better thing to all around for our health than
It is. And it feels
Most
so
definitely.
empowering. You know what I mean? Like whenever like something's wrong and I know I can go to my oils right away and like, oh, I'm going to use this and that. You know what I mean? Or my granddaughter has something, or my grandson is, you know, doing whatever. It feels so empowering to be able to do that and say, oh, hey, try this. You know, it's natural. You know, it'll help. It'll ease it. It'll help him recover faster. You know, whatever it is. And it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful to be able to take care that way of yourself, of your own health and your family.
yeah,
You betcha.
absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
betcha.
So, if you had a final thought for everybody, what would be your thought related to this or anything really, but what would be your final thought to give to them?
I think what I just was talking about earlier is really just pick one thing. Pick one thing that really spoke to you from this podcast. and say, I'm going to try and make a change with that. And start small and try and be consistent. And if you have questions, my website's filled with a lot of, like, I think over 400 pages of content
Wow.
that I wrote on different topics of how to use oils for different things. Contact me, reach out to me, ask me a question. You know, I always love helping people. And
Okay.
I think it's a learning curve. But if we're ready for it and we're taking that first one little step, it can lead us to really living a healthier lifestyle and really doing good things for our body, for our mind, for our soul, physically, emotionally, everything.
Absolutely. So, and where can everybody find you? What is your website?
The website address is My Oil Guide. So it's MYOILGUIDE, myoilguide.com.
Okay, perfect. And you have an Instagram and Facebook as well, or?
I do. I have Instagram and Facebook, so you can follow me on those as well.
Okay.
And I have a lot of free stuff on my website, free courses, free ebooks, free everything.
Well, that's
very
very giving. So
That is
I
very
just want to
generous.
help people live healthier and live happier and live better and know that there's different things we can do for ourselves and for our families.
And
yes,
so
absolutely.
that would go for women with their faces and everything else. They can wash their face with healthier things and do something to make them still, do what they need to do for themselves.
Exactly. I have an ebook for that too.
Do you?
Yes.
Good girl.
My secrets to youthful looking skin. It's like a 70-page ebook that I wrote all about skin and what you can do to, support your skin and your health.
Beautiful. Good to know.
Wonderful.
People would like that. Lots of people would like that.
Yes, they.
Yeah, so
So
just go in there and download.
Yes, I will put all of that into the show notes for people to be able to find you. And
Perfect.
we really appreciate you coming back on and giving us so much information and giving the followers all the information, because it was beautiful. And, there's just a lot out there. And, I definitely, suggest people go to your website and look at some of these free offerings that you have to learn more about it, especially if there's stuff that, they got from this podcast that they feel would be beneficial looking for that. So
exactly. Thank you for having me again. I really enjoy so much talking with you ladies. It's always
it's a pleasure.
such
Please
a
come
joy,
back
really.
again to us.
yes, we'd love to have you back again, like Mom said. So yes.
Thank you. We will do that. We'll plan another topic.
Sounds good.
All right.
And everybody else, we'll see you next time.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.